Boom, we are live. What's going on, guys? Welcome in, take a seat and get comfortable. Hope you're all having an absolutely smashing day so far. It's great to have you all here. Hope you're all keeping safe and well. So, on today's video, we're going to be checking out a band called Dark Hand, and specifically, we're going to be checking out their recent single, which came out this year, January 27th, which is called Lay Waste. So, I've got a little bit of history with this band. Let me take you back to May 11th, 2021. Yours truly, on this channel, reacted to a track of theirs called Witch's Lair, which came off an EP, which is called The Bitter End. So, I have been going back through my, well, I spent the day going back through all the bands that I've either done shout out videos for on my Instagram. Go follow me on Instagram, RDG Promotions. If you like what I do here, you'll very likely like what I do on Instagram as well. Go and follow me there if you wouldn't mind, or not. I can't tell you what to do. I've been going back through, just seeing if there's any bands that I missed, just any bands that have slipped through the cracks, just because, you know, just because you're necessarily following someone on social media doesn't actually mean that you'll get, like, you know, the notification for when they release new stuff, and some stuff will get missed. So I went back, discovered a lot of bands, rediscovered a lot of bands that I absolutely love, but just because I'm an idiot who's got a really, really bad memory, and, you know, I'm going to blame social media a little bit here. Social media will give you, like, you know, it'll tell you, you'll exclusively get, like, you know, one band and a couple of memes, like, you know, repeatedly. And me, like an idiot, thought, oh, well, you know, if I follow someone, then, you know, whenever they get something new, it'll automatically just pop up on my feed. Not the case at all. So I went back and listened to what these guys have done. Started off with a track called Suffering, which came out all the way back in 2020, which I've written simply here: deathcore, hardcore, and modern metalcore with a very, very nice mix. Go listen to the track if you want to know the deathcore and the hardcore is pretty prominent, but I felt that some of the guitar work has a little bit of modern metalcore vibes to it. Next thing I listened to was their 2021 EP, The Bitter End, which has I've actually written the tracks down here. So we've got Ruins, which I've literally written chugs, post-hardcore vibes, and shouting vocals. Lots of shouty vocals. I think he goes a little bit deathcore slash death metal-y slash whatever you want to call it, a little bit more extreme, but mostly it's very shouty, hardcore style vocals, you know, no vocal, you know, like not much in the way of vocal fry or tunnels or anything like that. Track called Witch's Hand, seriously fucking creepy, really fucking creepy vibes. And then a track called Fire and Chains, which has got two-step in it, very, very hardcore. And that's the track that we're actually going to, that's the track that we're going to listen to. And I'll tell you exactly why we're going to listen to this track. So let me see. Let me see. Where are we? So, Fire and Chains. So, I'm just on the Slam Worldwide video because this got released on Slam Worldwide May 7th, 2021. There we go. Fire and Chains. So if you go onto this band's Instagram, if my phone wants to do this, Dark Hand. They call themselves two-step deathcore. I love me some two-step, and this track that we're going to listen to is the most two-steppy hardcore vibe track that they've released. I'm secretly, I guess not so secretly now that I said it, I'd really like to hear some more of that two-step. I think it's probably the best stuff that I think it's one of the coolest things that they do. There's a lot of deathcore slash hardcore almost doesn't make sense because deathcore is a combination of metalcore and hardcore. But sometimes it is it is it is descriptive of a band when you call them a deathcore / hardcore band, because some bands are a lot more hardcore sounding than they are deathcore sounding. Obviously, breakdowns, like the dissonant notes and the dissonant chords or whatever you want to call it. That's all that's all very hardcore. But when bands go full fucking two-step, that's like you need to, like, I don't know, deathcore with a capital C in the core or something like that. I don't think there's a particularly elegant way to put it. But I really, really like these guys. But when they go two-step, which I would really hope that they bring some of that two-step on Lay Waste, which we're going to check out in a minute, that would be really cool. But that's a personal point. So let's get ourselves in the mood. Dark Hand, the Bitter End EP, and this track is called Fire and Chains. Is it Fire and Chains? Fire and Chains. Let's go.
That you ever loved, going down.
Go listen to that album. It's EP. It's so fucking good. So fucking good. And yeah, I was just reading the comments underneath the video on Slam Worldwide, and there was a lot of people actually pointing out how much they like the yelling vocals. Like they're very, very prominent. I'm fairly sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it goes. He does some deathcore vocals, or someone in the band goes a little bit deathcore, but it's a lot of like that kind of yelled, shouted vocals, rather than gutturals and tunnels and all that type of stuff. And it goes really well. They put different effects on it. It's like at times it sounds like very distorted, other times it sounds a little bit clearer, and he does that kind of thing, like start with talking and go up into the like up into the yelling, and that type of shit. It's very good, man. Very, very good. A nice way of doing things, and I love that those fast sections towards the end where it just goes fast and then it goes full 2-step, and it's just fucking fantastic. So really, really good stuff. So let's go. Let's go. Dark Hand, Lay Waste. Let's see what you got. This came out about 3 months ago. So all right, let's go. Dark Hand. Lay Waste. That was fucking cool. That was really, really cool. Let's get straight into it. Let's just start by playing the intro. So first off, much heavier on the deathcore vocals. I haven't checked in with, like I said, the band slightly felt, I just completely forgot they existed. Just cards on the table. So I'm pretty sure that's the same vocalist. He's just went a lot more deathcore than kind of shouty, yelly than he used to be on the Witch's Lair. Still sounds the same, and there's bits where it sounds really similar, like vocally to their older stuff, but he's just got a little bit of grit, a little bit of distortion, a little bit of gargle on it. It's good. It's good. I like it. The guitar work has got a kind of like it's deathcore, but the way they do it, I don't know if maybe like the tuning isn't quite as like crazy low like it is in deathcore a lot of the time, but it sounds a little bit. It's got metalcore vibes to it. I don't know enough music theory to really articulate what I'm talking about there, but it's not got a very death metal-y vibe to it. It's got a much more kind of menacing metalcore vibe to it, which I like. I like it. I like it a lot. And when I say post-hardcore vibes, what I mean is when the guitars go down and down, like it's kind of like the chord kind of is just kind of lets ring a little bit. You don't hear too many deathcore bands because this song is listed as just deathcore. Personally, I think there's more to the story than that. I wouldn't call these guys an average sounding deathcore band, but those kind of I'm gonna just keep that sounds like post hardcore guitar to me. Someone feel free to correct me if I'm using the wrong terminology, but I like that. It helps them stand out. And if you're gonna call yourselves a deathcore band, then you're either gonna have to be really fucking good, which these guys are, or you're gonna have to do different things that other deathcore bands aren't doing. Because God Almighty, there's a lot of deathcore bands out there, which is it's a problem for some people. It's not a fucking problem for me, but it's nice, man. It's nice. Right, next section I want to highlight 115. Let's just go from about there. Make sure we hit it. Right, we'll get to that next section as well, but that's got a very chaotic hardcore energy to it right there. They could have just put in an earth shattering, sun splitting, fucking neutron star size breakdown, but they kind of go into a bit more of like a kind of like slower hardcore chunky section, which I think is really, really cool. Let's listen to it again. Yeah, like the drums, the drums sound like they're on a slightly different like beat than the rest, and it doesn't just go dun 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 dun, like it stopped down and then like straight back into the groove. Very chaotic, very hardcore. Not just kind of sticking to a heavy section to get them from one bit of the song to another, but just like throwing in constant little changes, keeping you on your toes. I dig it. I dig it in a big way. So the next section, this is, I would say this is probably the most slammy these guys have sounded, but it's not a full slam section. These guys are just slightly off. I'm not quite sure, like deathcore doesn't really, they don't really suit the tag deathcore in the way other bands do, but they're not quite a hardcore band, but they throw in some kind of like post-hardcore stuff, and it's just, everything's a little bit off. There's just an uneasy vibe around these guys, and I really, really dig it. But so let's go into this slam section, if you will. Just those two little guitar bits there, those little licks or whatever you call them, just before they go into the other fast section. Couple more times. Indulge me. It's really well done because because obviously I'm listening with headphones, but it doesn't. It's not just it's kind of like some of it feels like some of it's going there and then a bit there and then it kind of sounds like it's up there. It's just the mix is really, really intricate. It's a fucking great mix as well, but it's just so many odd little bits that you don't find in your kind of standard kind of filed under deathcore section on Slam Worldwide, you know? It's really cool. It's really, really cool. Okay, let's go. Yeah, this is pure hardcore, pure stompy hardcore. I'm just going to keep the song playing. So fucking good, man. So good. So inventive. There's just one bit here. I didn't write it down, so just indulge me for a little bit. I just want to see if I can find it. I'm I'm not going to be able to find it, but there's just a bit where the vocalist like he's so close to yelling, but he just puts a little bit of distortion on it just to make it like a little bit more deathcore than he sounded. Maybe I'm just completely forgetting all their previous work, but I'm pretty sure that's the most kind of traditional standard deathcore that guy sounded, and it sounds fucking great as well. Nice and high register. There's a kind of like a kind of stone rubbing against granite, kind of like scratchy sound to his vocals as well. Really good, really powerful. Yeah, that was fucking tight. That was really tight. Yeah. This isn't a criticism. It's more of this is more just kind of like a kind of just a personal note. Loved the hardcore vibes of it. Would have really liked to hear two things, you know, like obviously, you know, like, you know, what do I know? I'm just a dude sitting in his messy kitchen, you know, taking half an hour to react to a 3-minute song, you know, but so what the fuck do I know? But two things that I was kind of hoping that we heard would be a little bit of two-step, maybe a lot of two-step, and more of those yell style vocals. The deathcore vocals were great. I loved the hardcore, like the very obviously hardcore style, like riffage and the kind of like, you know, sporadic drum fills and stuff like that. But just because of how much I really enjoyed, what was it called? The Witch's Lair? No, it wasn't called that. The Better End. Would have liked to hear a little bit more of that coming back. Now, obviously, just because I want something doesn't mean that it actually happens. Obviously, that's not how life works. But you know, maybe the guy just got fed up with doing that. Maybe they're like, we don't want to call ourselves two-step anymore. We can't be bored with that. But on future releases, bringing back some of those two-step sections and bringing back some of those yelly, shouty, kind of more traditional style hardcore vocals, I think it would be good for them. Not just because I personally dig it, and not just because a lot of other people obviously really dug it because of how unique it was. But it would just help them stand out a little bit more, because, like I said, if you're gonna go with a deathcore tag, which is awesome, then you're gonna have a lot of competition. And even if you're really good, your music might just get lost in the mix of just all the seemingly hundreds of deathcore bands that are releasing songs right now. There's so much deathcore out there. Lots of really good deathcore. We love deathcore on this channel. We love all music on this channel, but I've got a special place in my heart for deathcore. It would just might help them stand out a little bit more, you know, just to help them get a little bit more recognition, because they're really good, but there's a chance that, you know, taking out those very unique selling points they might possibly get lost in the mix a little bit, because God knows they've got a fuck ton of competition, you know. So but that's not a criticism, that's just a personal note, you know. I would just like to hear a little bit more of that. But overall, fucking great song, really great song, really interesting, great mix, super brutal, super catchy, really well put together. Loved it. Just love it. I'm a massive fan of these guys, and yeah, I'm not gonna wait quite so long until we get them back on the back on the channel. Definitely be checking out their next single, or hopefully EP, or possibly an album that comes out. Who knows? Who knows what they've got planned? But yeah, it won't be another 2 years until we have the Dark Hand Boys back on the channel. So, as per usual, my dudes, links to the song that we just heard, links to their social medias, TikToks, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever they've got will be down below. Links to where you can buy some merch, links to where you can stream the music, you know, Spotify, Apple Music, you know, all that type of stuff. You know, you guys know what you guys know what to do. Click on every single one of those links. Go listen to the stuff on Spotify. Get their numbers up. Order some merch. Go and see them live if you can. If you can. A lot of my favorite bands are from the United States, and I'm here in sunny Scotland. Not so sunny Scotland today. So it's kind of difficult for me to. But if they're in your area, go help them. Go buy some merch. stream their shit, follow them on all their different social media accounts. Just do whatever you can to support, because I really, really fucking like these guys. And let's just keep giving them motivation to keep releasing really, really fucking good music. So, one more time, Dark Hand, Lay Waste. Shit is absolute fire. Go check it out. Thank you very much for joining me. Take care, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.